Hello everyone, welcome to today's online webinar. And today our topic is building an ecosystem for a sustainable workplace. As we all know that all the IT companies are following the hybrid mode of work culture. Leading an organization and its people or the team member through this change is one of the most important role a leader plays. And this past years, we know that the role has changed a lot. And many of the leaders nowadays, they are facing the challenges like how to build the trust to make a sustainable work culture, and how to continue build a sustained culture of high performance collaborations and the innovations when so many associates or the team members are still disconnected, means they are still yet to visit office. The new joinee or the senior associates, they are yet to, you know, they to meet each other and work as a team. And the associates are exhausted and overwhelmed because they are getting multiple mails from the HR or the project manager, the delivery manager, like you are the RTO defaulters, return to office defaulters. So we know the organization is facing lots of challenges. Even the associates are also facing challenges because they are comfortable with the work from office mode. And when now organization needs them to return to the office, many challenges are coming. And we know while the change is inevitable, the progress is optional. So in today's online webinar, we're going to discuss how to build and sustain a hybrid mode of work culture, which will bring high performance, collaboration, innovation, and provide a good productive result for the company. So let's introduce the organization who initiated this online webinar. Is the IT wing of Brahma Kumaris. So Prajapita Brahma Kumari Ishwarya Vishwavidyalaya has 20 different wings to provide the service in different sectors of the society. Out of which, IT wing is the sister organization of Brahma Kumaris. And this godly university established in 1936. And the main objective of this IT wing is that to bring internal transformations in the professional, especially those who are working in MNC, in IT field, or any industries. And through these IT wings, we have conducted many online and offline sessions, webinar, where various IT organizations, including Google, Microsoft, TCS, Infosys, many 1,000+ associates, they have got the benefit in the last few years. So to know more about this godly university, you can visit www.brahmakumaris.org, and also our official website is www.brahmakumaris.com. You may also visit the bkitwing.org. So today, to put more lights on this topic, how to build and sustain a hybrid mode of work culture, today we are having our keynote speaker, Sister Shruti. She is associated with Brahma Kumaris from the last 10 years, and she has 20+ of experience in financial professional in MNCs, and currently she is working as a senior position in a UK-based MNC. And she has represented many topics in this session like harmony in times of chaos, power of thought, self-audit, feeling great, inner peace, and many more. And she has conducted online sessions for various professionals from various parts of the nation and conducted this meditation, Raj Yoga meditation program for police training institutes and many other places. He has attended management development program in IIM India and also from the Oxford, UK. So welcome, sister. Welcome to today's online webinar. And we all are interested to know more from you how to build and sustain a hybrid mode of work culture?
Thank you very much, sister. I hope you are able to hear me properly.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will, first of all, thank you, sister, and thank you to the IT wing who is tirelessly working for the betterment of the ecosystem, I should say, for today's topic and the surroundings, and helping all of us integrate and bring the value of Raj Yoga in our lives. We all are practitioners of Raj Yoga and we've seen immense benefit from it. And so thank you, sister, and thank you to this wing of our organization who is, I see every month you all are tirelessly putting together some or the other seminar, which are with very useful topics. So thank you. And I welcome with the greetings of peace to everyone who has joined this seminar or this online session. I can see that we are all on a journey of finding, and probably we are all Arjuna Atmas, as we call it, because we are a journey of self discovery. And so I would congratulate everybody who has taken the option of joining the seminar. This is a Saturday evening. Probably you all are working professionals. You could have just thought, okay, we can just have tea and relax and watch TV. But you are all souls who want to progress in life and who are seekers and who are seeking beyond what is available in normal working hours. And that is why you all chose to be here. So congratulate you for who you are, and thank you for joining this webinar. In fact, I can see we are a cozy little group, and probably I would start by asking this group, and probably sister, everybody can chat in this chat box. So I wanted to ask people, what is it that they are expecting? Because all of us working in the IT or any other organization have been speaking or talking or listening to this topic of hybrid working. So, shall we just begin with understanding what is it that you are expecting to understand from another such seminar, if I can call it that? So, please, could you put something in the chat box, your thoughts, a couple of words? What is it that you are wanting to know or are expecting to know from this webinar?
Yeah, I would request all participants to put their thoughts on the chat box, or you can raise your hand to speak out.
And yes, I see that you have also requested participants to switch on the video. Yeah, it will become more interactive. We are a cozy little group.
Yeah, I got
nice
a few
to interact.
Response. One participant is asking like finding right work-life balance, work-life balance tips they need.
Okay, work-life balance seems to be the theme. Finding the right work-life balance. Okay, we'll talk about this. Any other thoughts? Any other issues that you're facing that you would want some kind of lead answers to, resolution? Maybe we can get some resolution, or at least give a direction to how to think and what actions can be taken towards fulfilling your goal. So any other thoughts? It will be good to understand so that we can discuss those topics more in details than others. So work-life balance seems to be the main theme which is coming out. Okay. And feel free to put in your thoughts in the chat, and sister would be reading it out to us.
Yeah, okay, how to manage the stress. One more response we got. Okay. How to manage the stress coming both from like AI, ML, new tech, and the macroeconomic situations.
Yes. Very pertinent question. Very um, a question that is probably playing in everybody's mind, and we will talk about that. Okay. So the first slide talks about the current times that we are in. And if you want to describe this time, if there's maybe I'll just go back, although you've seen the slide, but I'll just go back. So if you want to describe the current times in one word, what would be that word? Just one word. The other word will be just an adjective to the word. So if you have to describe the current times that we are in, what that word could be. It could be many, but for our discussion and how we want to progress
Yeah,
with the issues
participants
that are in front of us.
participants are saying the word would be change or
Mm-hmm.
stressful.
Mm-hmm. And both are related to some extent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I would take change, and it could be any other answer also, but we can see how all other answers would actually coincide in the word change. So this is the time of change. In fact, as our flyer also said, that change is inevitable, although we added and said that progress is optional. But yes, change is inevitable. So from our childhood till now, there has been one thing in common, which is change. There is one change which has come to the change, and what is that? So there is a change which has come to the change, the way it is happening. What would you say? What is that? What is that change which has come to the process of change? And again, use the chat box to say what you want to say. What would you say?
Working
What has
hours,
changed?
working
Uh-huh.
hours and the way we communicate.
Working hours, the way we will communicate. And if we are going this path, then there will be so many other things. And maybe not limited to the topic at hand, but just look at the word around and see what is the change which has come to the process of change.
Hybrid work model.
Mm-hmm. Hybrid work model. Just go beyond your professional life. What else has changed in the way the change used to happen,
All
and
participants
how it is?
their thoughts in the chat box. It will be an interactive session. So expectation.
Yeah,
One more response.
very good.
Expectations.
Expectations are changing. Okay, what else? So the question is, what has changed in the process of change? So the change has always been there in our lifetimes, in our parents' lifetimes, in our grandparents' lifetimes.
Frequency
But
of
there is a,
changes.
yes, who was that? And that is our star answerer for the first
Speed.
question. Okay.
Speed.
Speed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Life prior
Absolutely.
to
So,
pandemic will never come back.
yeah.
Life
So,
prior to
like
pandemic.
irreversible.
Yeah.
I will use the word irreversible. So the changes are more irreversible now, is what you're saying, and I really like that one. And the speed. So these are the two things probably. Although irreversible, mostly the changes are irreversible. For example, if we age, that is irreversible. But now the nature also is bringing about change, which is mostly irreversible. uh, in terms of climate, we don't see that we would go back to the climate that our grandparents used to have. But the word that I will choose for now is speed. So you see, the speed of change is has changed quite a bit. So in the last 2 years, the world would transform the way it has transformed. Nobody had ever thought of, except when you were studying Raj Yoga and you were uh, doing your manan chintan and you were understanding what is going to come. But the but even if you're not, if you're not doing that, it was completely a surprise the way the change has come in the last 2 years, whether in terms of the way we work, whether in terms of working hours, whether in terms of using IT technology. When I remember when we were going for the first week in the second, third week of March, the first week of work from home, we were not using video conferencing so often. While now we can't imagine a life without video conference or video calls, or being able to see the person we are speaking with. So the technology, the world economy, the way the world is integrated, and all other economic factors, the natural factors, the way the climate is changing. Earlier, people used to say, when there was those national the international conferences for discussing climatic changes, the statements which would come out would be that if this happens, or sometimes in future, there will be this effect of us being irresponsible and the climate would change. But now the statements which come out is that in the year so and so, when the temperature goes up by 2 degree, 5 degree, this city like London or New York will be submerged to this level of water. So that is how even the predictions have changed. Earlier, it was one day, sometime, maybe. But right now, if you look at the recently concluded environmental conferences, you would see that there are definitive answers which are coming with the years specified, with the cities affected specified. So we are all very much confronting the speed of the change. So now, when we speak about the way our work lives have changed, and some of the quotes that you see in our screen has been said by people who have been ahead of their times, like Jack Welch said that change before you have to change, while Winston Churchill said that to improve is to change, while if you need to perfect, or if you need to achieve perfection, then you have to change often. So that is talking about speed. And this is the time when the change is inevitable, but even the progress is not optional. If you do not progress, you would perish. And we are in these times. And probably these kind of thoughts are generating the thoughts that you all shared, that the life is getting stressful, or we are not able to strike a work life balance. How do we manage stress? And how do we manage the change in technology? Like AI is coming, we are talking whether AI will take uh, the roles of the humans. And in fact, for the conferences like this in our office, when we speak about the conducting any session or even open forums, people go to Chat GPT, ask questions. The Chat GPT in seconds gives you the answers or the speeches. It can form speeches for you. So you are all from the IT side, and you are much more aware about how the IT is changing. And in the recent time, we have already spoken about it, how we were initially in 2019, we were thinking, we were still considering the stringent controls that should be there, not only from internal control perspective, but from the government perspective also. What should be the controls for people working from home? How we can manage their security for people working from home, data leakages, other frauds and errors, while we are now in a space where hybrid working is the talk of the town. Like, there is no company, probably other than the manufacturing firms, who are not talking about hybrid working. And as our flyer said, that initially the change to work from home was difficult. People wanted to come to office. And now when we are expecting people to come to office, the management is seeing a lot of resistance. So first, let's see in a very practical scenario, what are the benefits of our hybrid working scenario right now, and we will progress from there. But if anybody has a question till now, I can just take a quick pause and wait for any questions till now. Otherwise, we'll just quickly get into understanding the hybrid working, although we are all part of it. So we understand it to a large extent, but just putting it out there so that we look at what are the current scenario that we are working in. So before, in fact, for me professionally, I feel hybrid working is actually giving me best of both worlds, because when I want to be at home, I can choose to be at home so that I can manage my home environment, and I can be flexible around working office work and my home, attending to my people at home. While if I want to be in office some days, I can be in office, mix with my colleagues, understand the work culture there. We are all social beings. We spend 8 to 9 hours with people in office. We get into friendships in office. Those are the friendships which enrich us, and we become or our horizons expand when we meet people. So when we go to office, we get into the office culture. We collaborate more. In fact, in my personal experience, and most of your experience also would be that when we are working from home, things were taking 2 to 3 days to resolve. While we are in office, we would just enter into a corridor conversation, and things which are not in our agenda to do for that day will get done. So things were a lot more quicker when we go to office. And people do like to see each other in flesh and blood, and we were completely bored when we were looking at screens and looking at faces in 2 dimension. So it was good to see people in 3 dimension, and being able to go out for a quick coffee in between meetings and heavy work schedule. So it is if I look at it personally and very professionally, hybrid working culture is best of both the worlds. And but still we are seeing that the work life balance is going for a toss, because when we are working from home, we have gotten into a habit of not switching off our computers or being available all the time. While when we were in office, we used to shut down and we would go back home and say, okay, we are off our working hours. So that is something, and we will see what is that key word which is missing there. And probably all of us know, but then we will also see how we put that word to practice. The word which is an answer for your work life balance, or for our work life balance, because I'm still myself not considering that I'm completely in a work life balance. But the other benefits that we have, if we are in management, we see that a flexible infrastructure uh, is possible. So organizations are having lesser seats. They have sold their, their office spaces so that they can accommodate. So if you're 1,000 people, you can accommodate 1.5 times capacity of the organization. And it is not only a cost saving, but it is also having an impact on our environment, because it is reducing the carbon footprint that we are generating. It is reducing the travel time when we are not going to office. It is reducing the energy consumption when we are in office. And a few other environmental benefits that we are aware of is getting a positive impact by this kind of model. Also, we have come up with latest IT technology, which is giving us effective communication and collaboration workspaces. So as we spoke, when we have to do work in a silo, or we want to work on something in a very focused manner, we just can be at home and work on it. Or and in fact, when we speak in office, sometimes it happens that the home is a place where you get more distracted. So some of our colleagues actually come to office and they lock themselves in a meeting room and they want to do a focused work. So you have both the places available. And most of the organizations have supported employees to build infrastructure at home as well, and which was not there. And when I'm talking all these, I'm also present to what all we have gained in the past 2 to 3 years when we have actually gone to a hybrid working environment. Probably we are most of the time we are mostly focused on what is it that we have lost, what is it that is creating stress. But if you also look back, what all things we have actually gained, we have gained the flexibility of working from anywhere. We have gained the, in fact, people go on vacations, staycations, and they work from there. People have also gained acceptability to work from home. There were organizations, there were roles, there were positions where management was not very comfortable allowing those positions to work from home. But those positions have gained more acceptability to work from home. So we have gained a lot also when this kind of model has been adopted. At the same time, now, if we come towards the resolution part of it, I think also when we are working in office, the learning and development is an important aspect. So uh, being in a training in a virtual mode and being in a training with office colleagues around us, there is a difference. We all have experienced that difference. And that learning and development is not limited to the training which office is imparting us. It is also limited to, it is also extended to what how we are adapting to the change, which is the key word for this session as well. So, in fact, in the previous slide, we were talking about what are the key aspects of work from home. So, we talked about providing flexible infrastructure, looking at work life, looking at the benefits that we are creating for the environment, providing effective communication, collaboration, and continuous learning and development. And all these you've seen in various forums or chats or discussions that you would have had in the office or similar environment. But what is the role of spirituality? I think that is the missing dimension that needs to be now integrated in every walk of our life. And it may sound quite unconventional in a professional setting, but it does give us a transformative advantage. And that was a live demonstration of working from home, because you need to adapt to what is happening around you and not get frustrated with it. Okay, so we can say that it is unconventional for us to integrate spirituality into profession, but I feel that is the transformative dimension that we need to look at in today's time. We spoke about work-life balance. Like that was a common theme that was coming in various chats, and that is a word which is most talked about. But if you actually disintegrate that work, it seems that there are two lives. One is your professional life, and work is your, and another is your personal life. But actually, if you see, there are no two lives. You are same there as a human being when you are working, and while you are at home, you are still the same. Your life cannot be divided into work and personal. I think that is a shift that we need to see. And spirituality will help us see that shift, that there are no two lives. So there's nothing about work life balance, it is a life balance. So if you look at how you conduct yourself during the day, what is your timetable during the day about your physical body's timetable? Like you get up, you maybe you exercise, or you read something, you cook, you go to office, you work, you come back. So there's a timetable of your body, how you take your body from one place to another, or you subject your body to various scenarios during the day. So you one is about the body's timetable in your life, in your day's life, and another is your mind's timetable. Probably what we are missing today is how we are taking our mind from 1 hour to another during the day. What we call in Hindi and what we study in our Raj Yoga study, Raj Yoga curriculum, so to say, is Mancharya. One is Dincharya, and there's a very beautiful word called Mancharya. Where do you, how do you train your mind to shift from 1 hour to another hour during the day? So, when you focus on your mancharya or your mind's timetable, it is just a timetable. Like in school, we have timetable, or in office, we have timetable. If our mind has a timetable, then we will not be maybe faced with a word called work-life balance, because the whole day is life. It's not that while we are working there is no life, and when we come home, and that's when the life starts. So so to train our mind, and when you're training your mind, what is it that we are going to train our mind into? What is the property of the mind? What does the mind do? So timetable, we say we will do this, we will do this, we will do this, we will do this. That is about this body's timetable. What do you think would be a mind? What will be your mind's timetable? What will be the factors in your mind's timetable? Doing is the factor in body's timetable. So just use the chat box and convey what will be the factor, or what will be the aspect of mind's timetable. And we all know that you know the answer. What is the function of the mind? That is the cue.
Everyone put their thoughts in the chat box, please.
What? Yeah, the key to answer is to say what is the function of the, what does the mind do?
To generate thoughts, process, it's the CPU.
Right, absolutely right. So the function of the mind is to generate thought. So what would be a mind? What would a mind's timetable look like? A body's timetable is that you will do this, you will do this, you will do this. So what will be mind's timetable? Mind's timetable will be, I will think this, I will think this, and I will think this. Now this sounds very new, or very something which may not be attainable, or something maybe crazy. How can we say that we will think this in this hour, we'll think this in this hour, and we'll think this in this hour? But that is what we practice when we practice Raj Yoga. So, typical, or one of the example of a mind's timetable could be that when I get up in the morning, my first thought will be to thank to that supreme power who is always around me, and speak to him. We all have a connect in whichever form we know him, or we have a relation with him. We all of us have a connect, whether we are in this education or otherwise in some other education, or say in some other way of spirituality. We all have that connect. So the first thought will be to speak to that supreme power around us, thank him for being with us, thank him for giving whatever we have in our lives right now in terms of relations, physical positions, mental strength, bodily strength, the education, the job that we have. So we have a quick 2 minutes conversation with him. Then we get up, we we then come to a bodily timetable, and then we set aside an hour of a specific spiritual study where we give our mind some powerful thoughts for the day. And we also practice meditation in the first few hours of the day. We study whatever we believe in right now, or whatever is available to us, like a spiritual text, a religious text, an empowering text. So we read through that so that we give our mind some diet, while we are very conscious about our body's diet, but we give our mind some diet. And then we give our mind uh, something to think about, to churn, or what we also say in Hindi, to do manan during the day. So whatever we have studied, we pick up a few very intriguing or interesting facts from the empowering text that we have studied, and we give that thought for us to churn during the day. And we also pick up, say, one, what we call in Hindi in our education is Swaman, or self, or giving us a thought about ourselves, which is an empowering thought, like just practicing saying that I'm actually a peaceful being, or I am a successful being. There is no situation which I cannot face, so I am a powerful being. So I give that self affirmation thought to myself, which every hour or every 2 hour, or whenever, say, we sip water, we think about those thoughts. So we think about the churning that we have given ourselves, or we think about the saman or the self affirmation thoughts during the day. And by the end of the day, and if we practice that, and many of us in the Raj Yoga, we practice that, by the end of the day, if we are not doing that, we feel very exhausted, we feel tired, we feel as if we have spent a very long day, which is because we might be just sitting on the table and looking at our screens and doing some maybe brain work, but then we feel tired because our the number of thoughts that we have generated during the day have been at a very high speed and a very high frequency. While when we are doing this, like churning and repeating the self affirmation thoughts, we feel that power, we absorb that power every hour or so. And by the end of the day, when we have retired from the day, or the day is over, we introspect, reflect back during the day, see what worked well, see what did not work well, and then design our next day, how we will go through that day in terms of our body's timetable, and as our mind's timetable as well. So when you spend a day like that, you feel quite empowered by the end of the day. And we also expand our horizon from dividing the day between a work life and a personal life. And when our mind is very energetic, very powerful, uh, whatever solution you are searching for, probably you spend 2 hours, 3 hours searching that solution. When your mind is without many thoughts, whenever the mind is given these kind of powerful thoughts, you would see that mind is creating very less thoughts. When it is creating less thoughts, it is more powerful. And when mind is more powerful, it will take less time to give you solution. So you would see that but although we will come to discipline, but you would see that your work hours will actually reduce, because you would be achieving more in the given number of hours. So the idea is that we have gone through the physical timetables, we have tried to work on discipline, but probably what is missing is to work on our mind's timetable. So just if we start practicing that, take some sample days, or just practice days and see the benefit for yourself, how by training the mind how to think, we are able to go through the day, which are more powerful, which are more energetic, which are more efficient. And then when we close the day, we feel more relaxed and we get a better sleep. And when we end the day, we again retrospect the day, introspect the day, and then again speak to that supreme being, thank him again, or tell him the errors that we have done during the day, ask for guidance, and then sleep in his lap. If we are able to do that, then we will be able to get answers to the questions ourselves. So, like, whatever you see on the screen is what we have already covered, that how this spirituality actually nourishes mind, body, spirit. It gives us a broader understanding of connectedness. So when your mind is calm, you are able to tolerate more, you get more power, because uh, mind itself is not exercised so much that it is tired. So we are able to be calm in situations which arise every day in office or at home. We are able to interact with people, we are able to connect with people more. And when we are able to connect with people uh, on a soul to soul level, then we get into the next level of human connectedness. And you would see that people are more cooperative towards you, people are more friendly towards you, or we are more aware of, or we are more open to the problems that people are facing around us, and we are not very judgmental, very critical. So we lose those kind of thoughts when we are training our mind to think empowering thoughts and think positive thoughts. And when that happens, then the relations with people actually go to another level. And when people bond with each other, they again collaborate better, they work better, they work as a team better. And then you have to manage people less when people are connected at a soul to soul level. You would have seen in your own experiences also, when you are friends with somebody, you would not mind a small mistake that he or she has committed. While if you don't like a person, or there is a past with a person, the smallest of mistakes, or even if there is no mistake, we would feel irritable, we would feel angry. So the human connectedness increases when our mind is calm. We are able to see beyond what is just like a professional transaction. So those are the benefits when you train your mind well along with your body. So just moving, anything that you want to share or don't agree or want to add. So I'll just pause here before we go to the next and probably the penultimate section. Anything which you see doesn't seem to get answered by um, training the mind or giving mind a timetable. And of
Participants
course,
put their thoughts in chat box.
spirituality doesn't mean religion. Spirituality means something to do with spirit. And spirit, I think we all understand, like human being. Uh, we all say we are spiritual being. And why we even went to the topic of giving a timetable to the mind, because we are human beings. So human is made of humus, which is in one of the languages it means earth, or the five elements. So our body is made up of five elements. But what is being? Being is somebody who is running the human, and being is that spirit, that consciousness. We can call it soul, we can call it conscious energy, we can call it spirit, but that is what the being is. And so far, we are giving a lot of attention. Everything that we are doing, we are doing for the human part of us, the body part of us. We're taking good care of our body. We're trying to take good care of our body, giving it good diet, giving it rest. But then whatever the questions that came in the chat box initially were all to do with the being part of it. Our mind is playing games with us. So we have given a timetable to the body. We have taken care of the body. Now is the time to go to mind, which has been ignored so far. So, and that is what spirituality gives us the path towards. So, the simple steps is to create a bigger purpose in life. So, we say that if in Hindi, if I say it in Hindi, we say that अपने लक्ष्य को इतना महान बना दो कि व्यर्थ के लिए समय ही ना हो. Make your goal so great that you do not have time to waste. So right now, the external timetables are driving us. We get a project, we just get sucked into it, and then we go on to another project and we deliver that, and then from office to home, we are being driven by other people's timetable. Now is the time to create our own timetable, which will be done if we create our own purpose. And when we are wanting to create a purpose, the first step is to explore what are we passionate about. Our purpose, if we come to our purpose, that is what will give us satisfaction. That is what will give us the feeling of contentment. So a decision which is giving us the feeling of contentment or giving a feeling of satisfaction, that is our inner purpose. That is driving towards our inner purpose. So if I can probably share, I didn't have it in mind, but I can share it. I was in a program, in an education program, which is called Landmark Technology, and they are experiential learning professionals and the best training program that I've ever attended. And I was part of them for a long time, about 6-7 years. And I was very happy there. I had become a coach there as well, and I was very happy there. But it was taking a lot of time from the time that I wanted to give to my family, so I had to move away from it. So I took a year, but that program taught me that it gave me a platform to explore who am I and what is the purpose of my life. So I did not get the purpose of my life there, but it gave me a direction that spirituality is what gives me immense pleasure internally. So I gave myself a year and I wanted to explore where is it that I wanted to go. And then that is how after exploring a lot of other things, I came to this field and I understood what Raj Yoga, etc. is. But that program gave me that I feel contented when I am doing spiritual studies or I am in spiritual practices. So, whatever it is which is giving you contentment is your passion, and that is the basis of the purpose of your life. And then, when you are deciding the purpose of your life, aim high. And that is one aspect. The other is read a lot. So when we read, we are able to understand others' point of views, others' lives, others' mistakes, and what they did after the mistakes, how they um, rose from the mistakes that they had committed. If you will study people's lives, it is most successful people have actually gone through the worst phases. We don't actually go through in our normal lives. A common man would not go through that. So uncommon people or special people go through special bad phases as well. So read a lot. Do not leave any hour which is unstructured, unplanned, unfilled. because otherwise it will get filled up automatically by others. And then meditate. Meditate will train your mind, it will empower your mind, it will give a strength to our mind. And once we have a purpose, we have filled our empty hours, we meditate to empower ourselves, we automatically become of service. So being of service is so that Maslow's pyramid, which says, what are our basic needs, and when they get fulfilled, what are the next needs, etc. What it doesn't cover is the need to be of service. That is, in my experience, that is the basic human need, to be of service. When we are of service, uh, that actually gives us more than we are able to give others. So being of service uh, can be actually the purpose of our life, but that purpose comes by following our passion, by empowering ourselves through meditation, and then imbibing the the strengths and the properties uh, of of the supreme being, basically, and we automatically be of service. So what we have just done is we have enlarged the canvas of life from just office, just looking at, how can we work. We all know the answer to the questions that you actually initially asked. We know when that we should switch off. We know that there has to be timetable. We know how to treat people. We know that if there is too much work, we must say no. We know that we must give time to people around us. We must be polite with people. We know all this. The thing that we have been lacking is the power to be able to do that. And that power comes only and only from meditation. There is no other way the power will come. Yes, to aid meditation, you would need to read more, you would need to learn more. We will have to do that, and we all of us need to do that regularly. So discipline of being consistent is the key, but the power that our soul needs to get can only come from another source, which we can call supreme soul, because the battery can be charged by the same kind of battery. So the body gets charged by food, but the mind has to get charged by the supreme mind. And the Raj Yoga meditation is that meditation which allows us to connect with the supreme mind or the supreme being, which gives us the energy or gives us the power that we have lost over the years because we have not been charging ourselves. It's like not charging our smartphones, but expecting them to perform at the optimum speed, which obviously is not possible. When they then get discharged, the services will not work. And that is what has happened with us. So, while doing all that, getting all the answers in life, the key is to connect to the power, to the source. And that is what we do in the Raj Yoga. And I'll pause for the questions and I'll pause for any comments. And after that, we will go into a small such meditation so that most of us probably are already doing that, but we get a glimpse of how that can empower us. So I'll stop here. I'll wait for any questions or any comments or any questions which still remain, or you feel that it is not answered. You can take that now. And please feel free to ask the question, because in the short time, it is like a capsule which has been discussed here. But you think what we have gone through so far has given some answers, or if you want to get some clarification. How is it answering the question that you asked? Please feel free. We don't judge each other. It is a small, cozy group, as we said.
Shanti, sister will have meditation now. Then,
Yes. Okay, we can go to the meditation now. So I will stop screen share, sister. And I've stopped the video so that we can all
Om Shanti,
concentrate.
sister.
Om Shanti.
There is a question for us.
Sure.
The question is, people take advantage of our good nature. How to behave with them?
Sure. In fact, usually when we ask that question, we know the answer. So it is like, let me start by saying that if you look at the sun is there, it is giving its heat, it is giving its light. Some people will use the heat and light, for solar panel, which is giving electricity and energy, while some people can use that sun and light to maybe put on a jungle fire. So our inherent nature has to be the pure nature, but that may be used by people in different manner. So now what you're saying is people take advantage. When you say people take advantage, what is it that you mean? That probably we mean that we are polite, but they are always trampling all over us. If we are saying that, then we are saying that we are polite, but we don't know how to judge people. So there is a balance. Like in our study, we say the balance is the key, the balance of love and law. So we have to be loveful as well as we have to be lawful. So while being lawful, we do not leave the love. While we being loveful, we do not leave the law. Does that give an answer? That we probably, when we are being loveful, we just go extra mile and we ignore the law there. And why we do that is the love that we are giving is not pure love. It is not ruhani love. It is moh, or what we call as attachment. Out of attachment, when we are operating, then we would be biased. We would be doing extra for somebody, or we would be ignoring somebody's fault in a manner that is having a negative impact on the person. While when we are lawful and loveful, or when we have the pure love, then we are able to communicate to the person lawfully the mistake which should not be committed. So balance is the key. Yeah.
Sister, the response is like very good answer. One person has responded in such way.
Okay. That is the teaching, the study that we do. So that's what we study. Okay, anything else? Any other questions that have come up?
Sister, we'll wait for 1-2 minutes.
Sure.
If anyone has any questions, they can type it in the chat box. This question is related to the old one. How to take if we don't get reciprocation?
Hmm. So I would say this is and is this somebody from who is doing the studies or
Sister, this will
okay,
not be able to know that. Yeah.
we will not. That's fine. So you're saying that how to. So just
How
repeat the
to
question for everybody.
how to take, just a second, sister. This question has
Hmm.
moved up. Another question has come. Yes. How to take if we don't take get reciprocation?
Uh-huh.
Uh, that is a question.
Right. So reciprocation. So when again it is about purity. So purity is when the pure love would be a love which does not expect. And even if we don't talk about love, let's just talk about purity. What is purity? When we are saying reciprocation, what is it exactly that we are saying? We are saying that I'm doing something and I'm expecting something in return. So again, taking example from the physical world, when if you go to a rose and we are not dressed properly and we have not taken bath and we are stinking, so will rose not give its smell to us? Is the rose giving smell based on how we are approaching it, or rose is giving smell because it is rose? So we have to decide for ourselves. There's only one person in this entire world or entire universe that we can change. And who is that person? Is
Awesome.
ourselves. So we have to see for ourselves, who is it that we want to be? Who am I? Who am I really? And am I just trying to be something for somebody? Or is it that what I am? So if I'm trying to be somebody that I'm not, I'm doing something for somebody, then I will expect the other person to do that for me. But if my nature is to give, then I would not expect something in return. So if people do not reciprocate, then we have to check ourselves. Every time, there is a disturbance here, what we need to do is check ourselves. What is it that we are thinking behind what we are doing? So we are doing later, but we are thinking first. And sometimes we are so smart that we don't tell ourselves what we are thinking. So we have to just go behind our actual thought, our outwardly thought, and see what is it that we are thinking. So it could be that I want to impress the person so that I get something in return, and that something in return could be, some good words, or a smile, or a praise, or just a company because I like the person, so I like the company of the person. So that is what I am expecting in return. Or I am just doing something, or I'm making very good food and I'm expecting in return a praise that, oh, you made fantastic food. Or sometimes what we also say, acha kam se kam burai to nahi karo, or at least don't curse the food that I made. At least if you're not recognizing all the efforts, at least you know uh, treat me properly. But nobody can, we say, and it is not, even if I'm saying that, I also fall, but then we have the knowledge to get back up on our feet quickly. So the hurt is something which I create. Nobody else can create hurt for me. It's like nobody else can chew the food and give it to me. Similarly, nobody else can create the hurt for me. So if I'm getting hurt, I need to check my thoughts. What are the thoughts that I'm creating which is giving hurt? Then you will go back and you will, there's a concept of five whys in our corporate world. So exercise those five whys to the thought process that we have exercised in these kind of situations. Why is it hurting me? Because what is it that I'm expecting in return? Why is that I'm expecting that in return? And in my experience, I've reached to a conclusion that I do not respect myself. I do not have my own self worth. And that is why I I'm expecting people to respect me, to give me regard, to accept me, to give me love. And that is where the timetable of the mind that we were saying, where we said, give self affirmation to ourselves. And those self affirmations are not false self affirmation. That is the original nature of the being, that I'm a peaceful soul, I'm a powerful soul. I am somebody who is a companion of God. I am somebody who he is always overlooking. So those kind of self-affirmative thoughts, or something which you can think of in your creative minds, those self-affirmation thoughts will lift our self-image, and then we will not be in these kind of situations, or we'll be very strong in these kind of situations. We will see that other persons are actually changing in their behavior in a magical way. And I'm seeing this with experience. We all have, when we go to the study, we do those kind of experiences and experiments. So you will experience that.
Yes, sister. Uh, there is another question. How to deal emotional imbalance?
Emotional balance.
Imbalance.
How to build,
How to deal emotional imbalance?
how to deal.
Yes,
Okay. Of somebody else, of the self,
in someone else.
someone
The
else.
question doesn't speak with
Speak
respect to
of that.
general.
Okay, okay. So, see, if we are saying that, probably if it is for myself, I'm myself feeling that I'm going through that emotional imbalance, then, and I've gone through that. So, what I did was I stepped back, and I looked at what is happening actually, when as an observer, and there could be both the things, issue of the body and issue of the mind. Sometimes body lacks minerals like B12, magnesium, vitamins, calcium, and it starts playing on our mind. But those calcium deficiencies come because of our emotional turmoils as well. So just step back, and what has done magical, treatment for me is just to meditate, to sit back, do the study, take a break. I just took a break of 1 week, 2 week, and I was only going through the godly versions, which we call Murli. I was going through the various day meditations during the day, studying the godly versions, listening to the empowering classes. So I just treated myself. It's like a wellness routine that I entered into, doing yoga, which is the physical yoga, doing exercise, doing morning walk, going in the nature, walking barefoot on grass, doing that exercise, spending time with myself to understand myself more physically and mentally, and enjoying my own company and company with God. So when I did that for a week or for 10 days, suddenly all the emotional turmoil that was within me, so it will take a couple of days to come out of that, to, filter that out. It's like, it is a dirty room, and you come with a hose pipe and you water. So first all the dirt will come out, it will go away, and then the room will become clean. So when you do that, you take a wellness routine for yourself, take a break, you can come out of that very easily with when you're connected to the God, to the Supreme, and which is the magic that we have in our lives called Raj Yoga. And if it is dealing with somebody else's, then I think we've already spoken about it. Then we need to check ourselves that we are trying to get attached to the person, to the situation. And probably that is the reason that we are expecting something, because otherwise, the emotional turmoil of somebody else is an illness. Like it is an illness for me when I'm going through that, it is an illness for somebody else, which needs to be treated. And somebody is not well, if we will take care of the person. If somebody is not able to get up from the bed, we will take the food and water to the bed. Similarly, if somebody is going through the emotional turmoil, we will give that love and sympathy and whatever is need of the soul, we will give that to the person.
It's the final question, I guess, sister.
Mhm.
What is your
Okay.
advice to the managers His team members are not ready to come to office.
All right. So I will answer it as if I'm answering it to the manager. Because we said that the only person that we can change is ourselves. So the manager, well, let's look at the practical aspect of it also. The managers have to deal with people who are, uh, you know, there would be genuine cases where people really don't have, or there are some medical issues and they have to be given that leeway of working from home for some time. But many cases we are seeing that people are just not willing to come back to office. So that is where probably it what has worked is you initially speak to them, meet in an informal setup, give certain it is like a lurement. You give certain kind of benefit. So we have come out with schemes like we would reward people who are coming, or we organize a get together on a certain day when everybody comes. And when they come and this, or we organize some kind of brainstorming session, and we say that let's come and do that in physical meetings, and we just use some tricks of the trade to ensure that those persons come at least for that day. When they come there, we give them best of the times. We give them we can create the scenario where they are able to find the benefit for themselves. So then another set of population we will be able to crack there. Then there'll still be some set of people who would still be very adamant that they don't want to come. Then we have to exercise love and law. So exercise law but lovefully. So just keep screening out people is what I would say. That is what has worked for me.
Okay, sister, thank you so much. And these were the questions we had.
Okay.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Thank you
Om
so much,
Shanti.
Mr. Smita, for this question and answer session coordination. Now, I request Mr. Shruti to start the meditation session.
Sure. So I will switch off and so just sit back, and while you've been in the session so far, I would request that just spend another 4-5 minutes to taste the meditation also. Relax your body. Take your focus to your head. Close your eyes if you have to, if you want to. Feel the relaxation in your face. Your eyes, your cheeks, your neck, the back portion of your neck. Feel the relaxation in your shoulder. From shoulder to waist, in your spine. Visualize there is a white light running from the top of your head to your face, to your shoulders. to the spine as it is going through your body. It is relaxing all your muscles as well as the internal parts of the body. The white light is going through the stomach, to the thighs, to the knees, as it is traveling through the body, taking away all the tension, the stress in the muscles, relaxing the bones, the muscles, from knee to the ankle, to the feet, going in the ground. Your entire body is covered in this white light. And it is soothing and relaxing and very peaceful. In this calmness, you are reflecting your life, who you really are. A divine being who's sitting in this body as a consciousness, as a star in the forehead, behind the eyes. When you are in this body, the body is alive. Looking at your life, all those teeny, small problems, they are powerless unless you give power to them. You are powerful. You have the ability to come out of whatever situations you've been put into. You are a complete, peaceful being. And the Supreme Being, the Almighty, is always by your side. Remain in the thought that you are peaceful and powerful, and God is your companion who helps you resolve all your worries, all your questions. There's nothing to worry. There's nowhere to go. This is it. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
So much, Pushkar, for this wonderful meditation session and very knowledgeable session on today's topic. Now, I would request Rajyogini, Brahma Kumari, Golab Didi, Center in charge of Patia Center, Bhubaneswar Subzone. I request her to give vote of thanks.
ओम शांति। सबसे पहले परम पिता परमात्मा को नित्य दिल से धन्यवाद करते हैं। उसके बाद आईटी विंग के 4% परम आदरणीय राजयोगी ब्रह्मा कुमारी निर्मला देवी जी को नित्य दिल से धन्यवाद करती हूँ, जिनके मार्गदर्शन में सेवा चल रही है। उसके बाद हमारे मधुबन के आई विंग के कोऑर्डिनेटर राजयोगी ब्रह्मा कुमार यशवंत भाई जी को भी तहे दिल से धन्यवाद करती हूँ। उसके बाद हमारे भुवनेश्वर सबजन के मुख्य हमारे परम आदरणीय लीना दीदी जी को भी दिल से धन्यवाद है, जिनकी शुभ भावना से आईटी सेवा चल रही है। उसके बाद विशेष आज हमारे वक्ता सिस्टर बीके श्रुति जी, जो इतने समय देकर सुंदर तरीके से हम सभी को आज के टॉपिक्स पर समझाए हैं। परमात्मा के तरफ से, मेरी तरफ से और सभी भाई बहन की तरफ से बार बार दिल से धन्यवाद करती हूँ, धन्यवाद करती हूँ। बहुत बहुत थैंक्स। तो आज के प्रोग्राम में जिनका सहयोग रहा उन सभी को बहुत बहुत थैंक्स। और आप सभी भाई बहन जो आज के इस प्रोग्राम में जुड़े, चाहे जूम के माध्यम से, चाहे यूट्यूब के माध्यम से, आप सभी को भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, थैंक्स। सभी को धन्यवाद करते हुए परमात्मा की याद में रहकर मैं अपनी वोट ऑफ थैंक्स समाप्त करती हूँ। ओम शांति, ओम शांति, ओम शांति।
थैंक यू सो मच। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आदरणीय गुलाब दीदी जी का, और आप सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स को भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। Thank you so much for your participation and your time. Now it's time to wind up these sessions with the remembrance of the Supreme. So let's meditate for a few minutes.
यही है दिल की दुआ हो सबका भला, ये दौर बदलना चाहिए। दुख दर्द का है जो सिलसिला, अब और न चलना चाहिए। ये दौर बदलना चाहिए, ये दौर बदलना चाहिए, ये दौर ये सब बदलने के लिए खुद को बदलना चाहिए। ये दौर बदलना चाहिए। ये दौर बदलना चाहिए। उम्मीदों का दिया जलाए जिंदगी की राह में, उन्हें आंसुओं से न बुझाए सलामती की चाह में। उम्मीदों का दिया जलाए जिंदगी की राह में, उन्हें आंसुओं से न बुझाए सलामती की चाह में। दीने खुदा का वास्ता कुछ कर गुजरना चाहिए। ये दौर बदलना चाहिए। ये दौर बदलना चाहिए। दिल को यकीन है एक दिन ये समा बदलेगा जरूर। ये रात गुजरेगी जरूर, सूरज भी निकलेगा जरूर। सब वक्त से ही होना है, धीरज तो धरना चाहिए।